Hey, everyone loves a good vacation, right? You spend months, maybe even years, saving up every last penny. You're scrolling through pictures, booking flights, and dreaming of kicking back in some beautiful, perfect paradise like Paris or the Maldives. You imagine yourself sipping a cool drink on a white sandy beach without a care in the world. It's the ultimate reward for all your hard work, a chance to escape and just live your best life for a week or two. But what if I told you that for every single paradise destination on Earth, there's an opposite, a place so incredibly dangerous that you should never, ever go there. These aren't your typical tourist spots with long lines or overpriced souvenirs. I'm talking about places where one wrong step, one wrong turn, or even one deep breath could literally be your last. These are the corners of the world that are actively trying to kill you. We're going on a virtual tour of the 15 most dangerous places on Earth, and trust me, you're going to want to see this from the safety of your screen. We're talking about exploding lakes, islands completely overrun with the world's deadliest snakes, boiling acid lakes that will dissolve anything, and deserts so hot they can cook you alive. So, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because you are not going to want to miss a single second of this insane journey. Buckle up, because we're diving into a world of danger that you won't believe actually exists. It's going to be absolutely wild. Let's get into it. Alright, kicking off our list at number 15, we are going to a place that sounds like something straight out of a nightmare, Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, just off the coast of Brazil. Now, this isn't just a catchy name I made up. It's literally the most snake-infested place on the entire planet. The Brazilian government has made it completely illegal for anyone to visit, and for a very good reason. This place is crawling, and I mean crawling, with one of the most venomous snakes in the world, the golden lancehead viper. Imagine an island where you can't walk more than a few feet without nearly stepping on a deadly snake. That's the reality here. Scientists estimate there are between 1 and 5 snakes per square meter. Think about that for a second. In an area the size of a small bedroom, you could be sharing the space with dozens of vipers whose venom is so potent it can melt human flesh. The last people to live here were a lighthouse keeper and his family, and the local legend says they were all killed after snakes slithered into their home through the windows. This place is so dangerous that only a handful of scientists with special government permission and wearing full-body protective gear are ever allowed to set foot on it. They go there to study these unique snakes whose venom is being researched for potential medical uses, like heart disease, treatments. But for the rest of us, it's a giant, flashing, "Do not enter" sign. It's an island paradise from a distance, but step ashore, and it's a real-life horror movie where you're the main character and the ending is not going to be a happy one. Coming in at number 14, we're heading to a place frozen in time, a ghost city where the danger is completely invisible, the Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine. On April 26, 1986, the world's worst nuclear disaster happened here, when the number 4 reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. It released an insane amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere, 400 times more than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. An entire city, Pripyat, was evacuated in just a few hours. Its residents told they would be back in 3 days. They never returned. Today, the 1,000 square mile exclusion zone is one of the most radioactive places on Earth. The danger isn't something you can see, smell, or touch. It's in the soil, the water, the buildings, and the air itself. Walking through the abandoned streets of Pripyat is surreal. You see schools with books still open on desks, a giant Ferris wheel that never got to give a single ride, and homes filled with the personal belongings of families who fled for their lives. It's a haunting memorial to a catastrophic failure. Even though it's been decades, the area is still dangerously contaminated. Certain hotspots have radiation levels so high that spending just a short amount of time there could be fatal. While some highly regulated tours are allowed in the safer parts of the zone, the risk is always present. The radioactive isotopes will remain a threat for thousands of years, making this a permanent scar on our planet. It's a chilling reminder of the catastrophic power we wield, and the devastating, long-lasting consequences when it goes wrong. For our 13th most dangerous place, we're going to an island in the Indian Ocean that is completely cut off from the modern world, North Sentinel Island. This place is home to the Sentinelese, an indigenous tribe that has rejected all contact with the outside world for what is believed to be tens of thousands of years. And when I say they reject contact, I mean they will violently defend their home from any and all intruders. They are one of the last uncontacted peoples on the planet, and they want to keep it that way. The Indian government has made it illegal to go within 3 miles of the island. This law is not just to protect outsiders from the Sentinelese, but also to protect the Sentinelese from the outside world. Because they've been so isolated, they have no immunity to common diseases like the flu or measles. A simple cold could wipe out their entire population, which is estimated to be somewhere between 50 and 150 people. Any attempt at contact, no matter how well-intentioned, could be a death sentence for them. There are countless stories of the Sentinelese attacking anyone who gets too close. They fire arrows at boats and helicopters that stray into their territory. In 2006, 2 fishermen who had illegally moored their boat near the island were killed. More recently, in 2018, an American missionary illegally went to the island to try and convert the tribe to Christianity. He was met with a volley of arrows and was killed. This place is a stark reminder that there are still corners of the earth that are wild, untouched, and want absolutely nothing to do with us. At number 12, we have a mountain that is as beautiful as it is deadly, Mount Merapi in Indonesia. Its name literally translates to Mountain of Fire, and honestly, it absolutely lives up to it. This is one of the most active and dangerous volcanoes in the entire world. It's not a question of if it will erupt, but when and how badly. It has been erupting regularly for centuries, and it sits in a densely populated area, with hundreds of thousands of people living on its slopes. The city of Yogyakarta is just a short drive away. The biggest threat from Merapi isn't just the lava, it's the pyroclastic flows. These are superheated, fast-moving clouds of gas, ash and rock fragments that can reach temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius and travel at hundreds of miles per hour. They incinerate everything in their path. There is absolutely no surviving a pyroclastic flow. The volcano is constantly monitored, but its eruptions can be sudden and incredibly violent, leaving little time for evacuation. In 2010, a major eruption killed over 350 people and displaced hundreds of thousands more. Ash clouds disrupted air travel across the region, and deadly flows scorched entire villages, turning them into gray, lifeless landscapes. Despite this constant looming threat, people continue to live there. The volcanic soil is incredibly fertile, which is crucial for farming. For the communities on Mount Merapi, it's a terrifying trade-off. The mountain that provides their livelihood could also be the one to take everything away in an instant. Next up, at number 11, we're visiting a place that looks like it belongs on another planet. Welcome to the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia, often called the cruelest place on Earth. This is one of the lowest, driest, and hottest places you can possibly imagine. The landscape is a surreal mix of vibrant yellow and green sulfur fields, bubbling salt ponds, and strange rock formations. It feels like you've stepped onto the surface of Mars or Venus, but the beauty hides some extreme dangers. Temperatures here regularly soar above 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest inhabited places on the planet. The ground itself can be scorching hot. But the heat is only part of the problem. The air is filled with toxic gases, like chlorine and sulfur, bubbling up from the ground. Breathing this air for too long can be incredibly harmful, and in some areas, the concentration of these gases can be lethal. It's a place where the very atmosphere is poisonous. Despite these insane conditions, the Afar people call this region home. They have adapted over generations to survive in this brutal environment, famously mining salt from the vast salt flats and transporting it on camel caravans. For any outsider though, visiting the Danakil Depression is a serious undertaking that requires experienced guides, a lot of water, and a high tolerance for extreme discomfort and risk. It's a geological wonder, but one that demands absolute respect for its life-threatening power. For number 10, we're heading to the United States to a place with a name that says it all, Death Valley, California. This place holds the record for the highest air temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth, a mind-blowing 134 degrees Fahrenheit, or 56.7 degrees Celsius. This isn't just a desert, it's a basin of extreme heat trapped between mountain ranges. In the summer, it feels like you're walking inside a giant oven. The sun is relentless, and there is virtually no shade to be found. The primary danger here is, without a doubt, the heat. Dehydration and heat stroke can set in incredibly fast. Your body can lose gallons of water through sweat in just a few hours, and if you don't constantly replace it, your organs will start to shut down. People have died in Death Valley simply because their car broke down and they tried to walk for help. Even the strongest and most prepared individuals can quickly find themselves in a life-threatening situation. It's a place that shows absolutely no mercy. Beyond the heat, the landscape itself is harsh and unforgiving. It's a vast, desolate wilderness of salt flats, sand dunes, and rocky canyons. While it has a stark, stunning beauty, getting lost here is a terrifying prospect. Despite the name and the dangers, it's a national park that attracts over 1 million visitors a year. But the Park Service constantly warns people to be prepared. Bring more water than you think you'll need, don't hike in the middle of the day during summer, and always let someone know your plans. In Death Valley, a small mistake can have fatal consequences. We just came from the hottest place on Earth, so for number 9, it only makes sense to go to the complete opposite extreme. Welcome to Oymyakon, a small village in Siberia, Russia, which is officially the coldest permanently inhabited place on the planet. If you think your winter is bad, you have no idea. The average winter temperature here is a bone-chilling -58 degrees Fahrenheit or -50 Celsius. The record low, recorded in 1924, was an unbelievable -96.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Life in Oymyakon is a constant battle for survival against the cold. At these temperatures, frostbite can occur on exposed skin in a matter of minutes. Just breathing the air can be painful, and people say their saliva freezes into tiny needles on their lips. Cars have to be left running 24/7, or the batteries will die and the tires will freeze solid. If you wear glasses, they will freeze to your face the second you step outside. It's a level of cold that is almost impossible for most of us to comprehend. Everything is a challenge. Digging graves for funerals is a massive ordeal that can take days, requiring bonfires to be lit to thaw the ground meter by meter. Pen ink freezes, batteries die almost instantly, and there's no indoor plumbing because the ground is permanently frozen. Despite this, about 500 incredibly resilient people call Oymyakon home. They survive on a diet of reindeer meat, horse meat, and frozen fish, as nothing can be grown here. It's a testament to human endurance, but it's a place where the environment is so extreme it could kill you just for being unprepared. At number 8, we have something that looks like a portal to another dimension. This is the Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan, better known by its much cooler name, the Gates of Hell. And honestly, it looks exactly like that. It's a giant fiery pit in the middle of the Karakum Desert, almost 100 feet deep and over 200 feet wide, and it has been burning continuously for more than 50 years. This isn't a natural volcano, it's a man-made disaster that has created one of the most surreal and dangerous sights on Earth. The story goes that in 1971, Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas when the ground beneath their rig collapsed, creating this massive crater and releasing huge amounts of poisonous methane gas. To prevent the toxic gas from spreading, they decided to do what sounds like a good idea at the time: light it on fire. They expected it to burn out in a few weeks. Well, they were wrong. It's still burning today, fueled by the massive natural gas reserves underneath. The danger here is pretty obvious. First, there's the intense heat radiating from the crater, which you can feel from a long way off. Second, there are the toxic fumes. While the fire burns off most of the methane, other harmful gases are still being released. And third, the ground around the edge of the crater is unstable and could collapse at any moment, sending you straight into the fiery pit. Despite the danger, it has become a bizarre tourist attraction, with people camping nearby to see the incredible glow at night. It's a spectacular, terrifying monument to a massive miscalculation. Coming in at number 7 is a place that's more of a legend than a location, but its reputation is terrifying. I'm talking about the Bermuda Triangle. This infamous patch of the Atlantic Ocean, roughly stretching between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico, has been blamed for the mysterious disappearance of dozens of ships and aircraft. For decades, it has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and wild conspiracy theories involving everything from aliens and time portals to a lost underwater city. The legend really took off in the mid-20th century, with stories of vessels vanishing without a trace, often without even sending a distress signal. One of the most famous cases is Flight 19, where 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers disappeared during a training mission in 1945. A search and rescue plane sent to find them also vanished. In total, over 50 ships and 20 airplanes are said to have been lost in this area. The mystery is what makes it so captivating and frightening. Now, scientists and the U.S. Coast Guard will tell you there's nothing supernatural going on. They point out that this area has extremely heavy traffic, and it's also prone to violent, unpredictable weather, including hurricanes and rogue waves. The Gulf Stream can create treacherous currents, and the ocean floor has some of the deepest trenches in the world, making it nearly impossible to find wreckage. While many of the disappearances have logical explanations, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle persists as a chilling reminder that even in our modern age of technology, the ocean can still swallow ships and planes whole, leaving nothing behind but a mystery. For our 6th most dangerous spot, we're plunging deep into the Amazon rainforest to Madidi National Park in Bolivia. On the surface, this place looks like an absolute paradise. It's one of the most biodiverse places on the entire planet, with lush greenery, incredible wildlife, and stunning landscapes. But hey, don't let the beauty fool you. Pretty much everything in this jungle, the plants, the insects, the animals, is trying to kill you. It's a place where you are definitely not at the top of the food chain. Let's start with the wildlife. Madidi is home to some of the largest predators in South America, including jaguars and pumas. There are swarms of aggressive wild peccaries that can attack in a frenzy, and rivers teeming with piranhas and electric eels. And the insect life? It's a whole other level of nightmare. You've got mosquitoes carrying malaria and yellow fever, botflies that lay eggs under your skin, and the world's most venomous ants, the bullet ant, whose sting is said to be as painful as being shot. And it's not just the animals, even the plants are out to get you. Some species are so poisonous that just brushing up against them can cause severe rashes, itching, and allergic reactions. One of the most famous stories from Madidi is that of a tourist who got lost and survived for weeks, but was tormented by insect bites, infections, and constant threats from wildlife. This park is the definition of look but don't touch. Without an expert guide, an unprepared visitor would likely not survive for more than a few days. At number 5, we're going back to Ethiopia, to a specific spot within the Danakil Depression that, honestly, deserves its own entry, the Dalal Volcano. This isn't your typical cone-shaped lava-spewing volcano. Dalal is a bizarre, otherworldly landscape of hydrothermal fields, geysers, and pools of boiling acid. It holds the record for the highest average temperature for an inhabited location on Earth. But, the real danger here is the ground you walk on and the air you breathe. The landscape is a psychedelic explosion of color. Bright yellows, greens, oranges, and reds. These colors come from sulfur, salt, and other minerals being brought to the surface by superheated, acidic water. The pools you see aren't for swimming. They're highly acidic and can reach boiling temperatures. Falling into one would be an instant, agonizing death. The entire area is a minefield of fragile salt crusts that could collapse at any moment, plunging you into a hidden pool of acid or scalding water. On top of that, the geysers are constantly spewing out toxic gases including chlorine and hydrogen sulfide. Breathing in these fumes can cause serious respiratory damage or even be fatal in high concentrations. There are no plants or animals that can survive in this immediate area. It is, honestly, one of the most sterile, lifeless environments on the planet. Dalal is a stunning example of Earth's extreme geology, but it's a place where every step is a gamble and every breath is a risk. For our number 4 spot, we're climbing a mountain that might not be the tallest, but it is arguably one of the most dangerous due to its insane weather, Mount Washington in New Hampshire, USA. This mountain is famous for holding the record for the highest wind speed ever directly observed by a human on the Earth's surface. A staggering 231 miles per hour, or 372 kilometers per hour. That's actually stronger than a Category 5 hurricane. The mountain's motto is literally, "Home of the world's worst weather." The danger on Mount Washington comes from its extreme and wildly unpredictable weather conditions. It sits at the convergence of several major storm tracks, and its height and shape just amplify the wind speeds. The weather can change in an instant. A clear, sunny day can turn into a life-threatening blizzard with zero visibility and hurricane-force winds in a matter of minutes. Temperatures can plummet dramatically, and with the wind chill, it can feel like minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit even in the spring or fall. This combination of hurricane-force winds, freezing temperatures, and sudden whiteouts makes it incredibly dangerous for hikers. Over 150 people have died on Mount Washington, many of whom were experienced hikers who were simply caught off guard by the rapid change in weather. They succumb to hypothermia, get blown off ridges, or become lost in the fog. The summit is home to a weather observatory where scientists live and work year-round. But for everyone else, underestimating this mountain can be, and often is, a fatal mistake. Number 3 on our list is a place that seems perfectly peaceful, but it hides a silent and invisible killer. This is Lake Nyos in Cameroon. It's a beautiful, serene crater lake surrounded by lush green hills. But in 1986, this tranquil lake unleashed a disaster of biblical proportions without any warning. It didn't explode with lava or water, it exploded with gas. The lake suddenly released a massive cloud of carbon dioxide that had been building up in its depths. This cloud of CO2, which is heavier than air, silently rolled down the hillsides and into the surrounding valleys, displacing all the oxygen. It was a silent, odorless killer. In the village of Nyos and other nearby communities, people and animals simply suffocated where they stood. They passed out and died without ever knowing what was happening. Over 1,700 people and 3,500 livestock were killed in a matter of minutes. It was one of the strangest and most terrifying natural disasters in modern history. Scientists discovered that the lake sits on top of a pocket of magma, which leaks carbon dioxide into the bottom of the lake. Over time, the gas builds up to incredible pressures until something, like a landslide or an earthquake, triggers a sudden release, known as a limnic eruption. Today, engineers have installed a system of pipes to safely degas the lake and prevent another catastrophe. But the threat remains. Lake Nyos is a beautiful but chilling reminder that sometimes the most deadly threats are the ones you can't see coming. We're almost at the end. At number 2, we have a place that looks like the ultimate vacation destination, but it's an absolute death trap. Welcome to Fraser Island off the coast of Australia. It's the world's largest sand island, boasting stunning freshwater lakes, ancient rainforests, and miles of beautiful white sand beaches. It looks like paradise, but literally everything here wants to hurt you. The beautiful ocean is a no-go zone. Why? Great white sharks. And that's not all. The waters are also home to swarms of irukandji and box jellyfish, some of the most venomous creatures on Earth. A sting from one of these can cause excruciating pain, cardiac arrest, and death. So, swimming in the ocean is basically suicide. Okay, you might think, I'll just stick to the land. Bad idea. The island is famous for its population of wild dingoes. While they look like dogs, they are wild predators and have been known to attack and even kill humans. Especially children. But wait, there's more. The island is also home to 18 species of snakes, including the deadly eastern brown snake, one of the most venomous in the world. And if you think you're safe in your 4x4 vehicle, think again. The sandy tracks are treacherous, and vehicle rollovers are common. Fraser Island is a perfect example of how looks can be deceiving. It's a beautiful wild paradise where you are constantly surrounded by things that could kill you in an instant. It's Australia's danger level turned up to 11. And finally, the number 1 most dangerous place on our list is a bit different. It's not a natural wonder, but a man-made nightmare that thankfully no longer exists in its most dangerous form. This was the Elephant Kingdom in Chonburi, Thailand. It was a crocodile farm and zoo that became infamous for its unbelievably reckless tourist attraction. For just a few dollars, tourists could climb onto a rickety makeshift raft and float out into the middle of a lagoon filled with hundreds of massive crocodiles. The raft was basically some barrels tied together with a wooden deck and a flimsy net cage around it. Tourists were given fishing rods with meat on the end to dangle over the side and feed the giant reptiles, which would swarm the raft, snapping their powerful jaws just inches away. The structure was clearly unsafe, bending and groaning under the weight of the tourists. One wrong move, one slip, or one failure of that flimsy structure, and you would be in the water with a horde of hungry crocodiles. Photos of this insane attraction went viral online, causing a global outcry over the obvious lack of safety. People couldn't believe that something so dangerous was being offered as a fun family activity. Following the massive public backlash and an investigation by authorities, the farm was eventually shut down in 2016 for operating without a proper license and for its unsafe conditions. The Elephant Kingdom serves as the ultimate example of a tourist trap, where the thrill was real because the danger of being eaten alive was 100% genuine. And there you have it, the 15 most dangerous places on Earth that you should probably never ever visit. From the invisible radiation of Chernobyl to the crocodile-infested waters of a Thai tourist trap, it's absolutely insane what kind of dangers are lurking out there. These places are fascinating, and the stories behind them are unbelievable, but this is one trip that is definitely best admired from the safety of your screen. Let's just say my travel insurance probably wouldn't cover a run-in with the Sentinelese tribe or a swim in an acid lake. This world is full of incredible and extreme environments, and while the spirit of adventure is amazing, it's also important to respect the sheer power and danger that nature, and sometimes human error, can create. Seriously, some of these places are straight out of a horror movie. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the exploding lake and the island with 5 snakes per square meter. It's a good reminder to always do your research before you book that next vacation. So what do you guys think? Which one of these places shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you enjoyed this insane virtual tour and want to see more crazy content like this, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insane travel stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.